30 seconds. Okay. Get her to go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That'll hold the meeting together.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda of July 3rd, 2023, years going by.
Second that.
You got a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for June 27th, 2023.
Second that.
You got a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting attended. Anybody?
And. Yeah, and Sean,
No.
went out the complex, met with the. Contractors out there, we have the valves, so we're gonna change out the valves that are, got the green tops. It's a gate valve, but, most of them are been leaking or wicking out. And, so Dave Moore's, gonna change them out, there's about 3 of them leaking right now, so we're gonna get rid of them. And get the ceilings in and get this project going.
How big are the?
I think the biggest is 2-inch.
Oh, not real big then.
No, and they're putting ball valves in and getting rid of the stems and stuff. Probably. Just guessing 12 valves, 13, 14
Is that
valves.
part of the boiler system?
And water,
And water, okay.
yeah, and then there's some ports, test ports on the boiler water. There's probably 8 of those. We're gonna take them out completely. They're upside down and they just got a cap on them, so you know what's gonna happen on them, so. Get them out and he's gonna start working on that right after the 4th. They're putting ceilings in all the deputies' offices. They're starting to do that. They got the painting done, it's looking good. Talked to, just getting ready to get information together to put a bid package out there for the roof. Insulated steel roof, get rid of that rubber membrane roof that's getting over. And match up the same green roof that's on the sheriff's side, so we'll get that package together. Stop, look at the LP tank, and I walked around and I didn't see nothing or smell anything right there with that, but I see what you're talking about on that.
It's a 2-inch fill at the bottom.
Yeah. So I think you might got that, so. I'm gonna try to.
What did we work on there 2 years ago? It was the out,
It was
to the building.
all the valvage,
okay,
yeah,
on the other end of the tank.
on the other end tank.
All right.
The gauge ports and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to find somebody to cop blast that, because we could use some of our detainees to get some time, go out and paint it, stuff like that, get some paint on that tank.
So
It's,
talk with our supplier to
yeah,
look at some, yeah.
yeah, I don't know who bought Andy Hatner's old one out, out there by Let's, used to do cop blast and stuff. Try to find somebody to get that done this summer, make it look good. That was it. Yeah, we was out there a couple hours, but like I said, I'm glad Dave was able to do it and get it done.
Mhm.
It's- Move forward. I think that's it.
Okay, I had nothing more than what we just updated on the LP tank, so.
The only thing that I have to update on is that Tuesday, the 6th, no, Thursday, the 6th. Chuck Grassley is going to visit Wapello and he'll be at my shop between 10 and 11 o'clock. So anybody that wants to come out. and meet
Thursday,
him
what time?
between 10 and 11. So anybody wants to come out and meet him and have any questions for him, I'm sure he would be more than willing to talk to you. So it's kind of cool. He's on his 99 county tour. And Where he's stopping Louisa County, or one of his stops, I guess.
Well,
Seen payroll changes.
yeah, we had one payroll change, a new hire jailer. Anything from the public here? Okay, we got the inter fund transfer. I'll pass it around.
And we're gonna do that conservation transfer of 40,000 back into her county home account. When is that gonna take place?
I will have to look, I think it's. I don't know for sure, I will look, I'll
Okay.
make a note. Is that from,
Missed a zero on the 140, I just added it.
Brown?
Previous purchase.
The comma was
And
there.
then we'll have
Zero was
to
missed.
take that amount, make sure that we. For future that we.
Yeah,
look at it, but we're gonna
okay.
try to pay it every year and
Okay.
pay it back.
Here's the. Transfer.
I'll throw this out on the table until Brad can have a chance to look at it. I'll approve resolution, make a motion to approve resolution 202-328. There was a zero missing on the 140.
Yes, I see you put it on there.
Yeah,
Yep.
the comma was right, but there was a zero missing.
And I'll second that.
Okay, you got a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now I guess we can look at claims until. Yeah, we need all three
Oh,
signatures.
I'm sorry.
We'll look at. Claims until Kathy Vance gets here.
Is it about that church? Fairview Church, I'm guessing is what she's.
I think you're probably right.
What's been on the radar?
She got through one layer and I think she's on to the next.
They've done a lot of work on that church. They
Yeah.
need to paint. Where they put the curb.
Yeah, I haven't been by there lately. Did they get the curb done?
The curve is done, it just. It's been sitting there for a month, I think someone would throw a little paint
Primer or something?
or primer to protect it, cause that was, someone had to warp or, bend a piece of
Yeah,
wood
right.
for that entrance.
That's usually off the shelf anymore. You can get pretty curved wood off the shelf.
Well, that's a Menard, yeah.
You don't have to pay extra, is that what you're saying? I've seen a couple of boards like that. That
Usually
is
we buy
funny.
2 lifts, to get 1 good lift.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy. Yeah,
We could do staircase. Rounded. Staircase.
we're just picking on the shocks delivery guy. Well, where'd you find this good straight one at?
somebody's gotta take it. I gotta look at the receipt on that Ford truck. That's driving me crazy.
Yeah, we get that out. Okay.
Yeah, that's, wow.
Must be buying F-350s now.
Well, either that or it's a big Denali for the sheriff, I don't know. I don't think you
No,
get
for-
Denali for 59.
For a Ford, it'd be a Navigator.
Yeah, right. Oh, Eddie Bauer, not Eddie Bauer,
Are they-
King Ranch,
King Ranch.
King Ranch, there you go.
Used to be
That's what I was trying to come up. F-150,
Diesel?
Yeah.
4-door, it's a super crew, so that's a 4-door, right?
Yeah.
5.5 foot box, so it's got a real small Police responder XL.
There you go, right there.
Police
Police responder. Well, then the big four door, so you can put a cage in there to haul. We're trying to figure out if this comes with lights or. Cage.
I would bet it doesn't come with lights,
No,
generally
that's
from
just
the,
the vehicle.
it'd be the vehicle, but it'll be have the. Tranny coolers and
Yeah.
all that special stuff,
Probably 2-speed.
and the hookups for the radio, a lot of times they're in there. Wow.
Where'd we buy it at?
Ed Seaver, Waukee, Iowa.
See, pay taxes, Lois can.
No, but if I talked to Brandon, I thought he said it was sitting on the lot, ready to go. It was,
Well, our last squad car was from Kansas or Nebraska.
yeah, I think they said that it
Yeah.
was,
We just bought one from that Kansas City.
Yeah.
otherwise you were
Last
gonna
week.
have to wait like 14 months to get another one. They just happened to cross this one. But there's no options on it. $59,600.
Not even a snow.
So we gotta get air conditioning in it.
Power windows,
Power
heated
windows.
seat. You can have those options, but you don't get the computer chip to make them work. Can't believe
My
it.
question is, and what do we have budgeted for vehicles?
We
Is
had
that
there was
budget?
3 cars in there, but I can't remember for what price.
Can we get 3 for that?
Hmm,
2,
yeah, I'd say you're right.
1 3/4 or something.
Oh, I know Brandon said to me that he needed to do a budget adjustment this month, and I said, we just start going into the new budget.
I think we need smart cars. Little 2-seaters.
All electric.
I told him you goes.
They don't make them anymore, but I like the way you're thinking. I don't think he would agree, but
Yeah, but I can sell my enclosed trailer with this.
I'm shocked the F-150s are at that level.
Especially at state.
Yeah, that's state bid. That should be a state bid price.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it didn't say on there.
It
state bid.
it didn't.
I don't know, we just, as long as we stay in budget.
Yeah, I guess.
Let your conscience be.
Probably have that in here somewhere.
We can drive around.
Well, they need vehicles to do their job, that's for sure.
Why can't you gonna cut it by here?
Yeah, bicycles in the county probably don't.
I don't know, I seen one, I was up in Wisconsin over the weekend, and I seen a bicycle up there, I bet he'd running 40 mile an hour down the sidewalks with an electric assist.
Oh, yeah. That'd be the
I
only
think
way.
we're getting close. Had tires about the size of my truck. Running down the sidewalk. And he kept up with the stream of traffic.
Wapple PD used to have a.
I remember that. Cop on by.
Yeah, used to, yeah.
Yeah,
There
it wasn't Crump either, so.
was a couple of cops that would never be on that.
They just bought a side by side too, I think.
I think they got a grant for that,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I didn't know if they were planning on.
I wonder what they did with the old one.
No Kubota, well, it would snow.
Tell you what, I need to start hiring Bosch, $3.50 for pest control. Pretty good.
Way I see it.
She's in that room. Where's the plane?
I never got a pest control bill that,
No.
and for the motel the other day, and I think it was like $80 but I didn't use Bosch. Maybe I'm using the wrong person.
She did. Supposed to be $5.
35, okay. One,
Liz entered.
still sounds cheap, yeah.
I'm gonna pull that. This stuff.
So it makes her number off a little bit. You can say the paperwork probably costs us 15.
Yeah, and that was out of the hotel.
Vehicle wise, so you talked about 10 years ago, we let Tracy this truck out here. Roll up windows. Had to order it, we got it so plain Jane. And we got it for right under $20,000.
Right,
Yeah.
It doesn't have air either, I don't think.
Probably not, it's pretty plain. Shoot. Last I knew you had 30,000 on it.
you got iPhone 10, iPhone 11.
Yeah, how do you check to see who those?
Phone number generally. Their number of it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, on there. That amount of expenditure. I thought I had the sheriff's thing in there. A lot of ambulance stuff.
Where was that, the first show at, is it Des Moines? Des Moines, yeah.
Saturday, kind of rained. About noon, it finally cleared off. Yesterday was hot.
A lot of cars up there.
5,000. I think the hobby is alive and well.
Probably a couple $1,000 worth of cars there, right?
Oh, yeah, 50, $100.
Think about the cars we used to wreck. Just running from the cops at prom and graduation parties, and now they'd be worth $250,000.
Right there, way back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that the other day.
You know, there'd be about 3 bite the dust at them parties.
Well, I looked up one that I was looking at real hard, 56 Ford pickup, because I have one and I'm gonna start building. It was beautiful, dark green. I'm not a big green fan, but it looked really cool. And so last night when I got home, I just started Google searching it, and that truck had sold in 2021 at Barrett Jackson. $274,000 that truck's for.
Wow.
Over $250,000.
Is
For
it
that one
values, they coming down or
truck.
something?
They're going up.
Cause there for a while, they went through a
Yeah,
decline.
they're still going up. So that was pretty crazy. I didn't think it was $274,000.
So I've had mine, I had a 66 Chevelle since I was 19 years old. I still got it. Never drive it. I gotta get it out.
I understand.
I need to have you do appraisal on that or I can get insurance on
Do
it.
that.
Yeah, I'll have to get it down there.
They're pretty exhaustive. They go through and even tell you the brand of tires and the sizes. You gotta kind of go over it. And then as you go through appraisal, it kind of moves it down into a category and then your price.
Just need to get. I just got liability on it
Yeah.
now. That's silly.
God forbid the building would fall on it or something and it would be bad.
Hey, are we content with the claims,
Yeah, I'll
everybody?
make a motion to approve the claims as submitted, with the exception of, did you want to change that one?
Yes.
35 cents to $35.
Yes, 30, 50 to 30.
That exception.
I'll second with that. Change.
Okay, got a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Paul,
Morning.
what the heck you been up to? Glad to see you. Glad to see you too.
Now, come on, be honest.
I'm just seeing you often. Usually when I get a stem, it's usually something not good.
I was trying to break the cycle. Yeah,
Good job.
yeah.
Well, that, blew one of these phones I thought was Paul.
Keeps a lot of them, text each one. Really done this.
Well, I just write down the phone because I can ask them to unmute it, but they
I don't have to. They can do whatever they want. It's a public meeting.
yeah.
So what's
When
going
we're
on?
not in this, that's okay.
Color. It's not black and white, it's all in color, good,
Oh, yeah, no. It's been,
crazy.
yeah, I don't know what's in the water.
It started about February or March of 2020.
Is that it?
I don't know, I think it was in there before.
Yeah, but it really came
That
out,
was the catalyst that made it go.
people lost all their filters. I like it Facebook, I don't ever comment, but I watch it, I think, oh my God, I can't believe you said that.
They didn't, they were thinking it.
They
They didn't
put
want
it-
to, I know, all the words are out there for everybody to see. There was a Twilight Zone movie or show that a guy could read everybody's thoughts.
No way.
And
Poor guy.
but we have that today. Because people type it and they're not saying it, they're just putting their thoughts down, but everybody can read their thoughts. You know?
Yeah, did some of them go away after a while, you see that?
Oh, I read it.
Didn't-
I
should've
read
said it.
While I read it, there's people that are complaining about their jobs and their people they work with and spouses. You know, those same people are reading that. It's not a very cool move.
Trust you.
That's why I don't do Facebook. I got enough drama all about it.
Social media is the downfall of society, I can tell you that.
Never get you in trouble in HR.
Never.
Right, yeah,
If
right.
you're a heavy drinker, I encourage you to get.
Yeah, lemon coffee.
Ammunition,
Yeah, yeah, it's good stuff.
And you ought to see the 230 ones, they're really good.
Lots of that in the last several years.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
What, alcoholism or?
Never thought about that.
Never was.
Facebook.
Facebook.
Hand in hand. Yeah, I had a jury trial get canceled for next week from a board of supervisor. Public health. Up in northeast Iowa. From 5-6 years ago.
Still going on?
Yeah, he sued, he was removed from the Board of Health by the Board of Supervisors. For making inappropriate comments to a variety of people. Yeah. And just inappropriate sexual. And so I got involved, they're like, hey, he said something inappropriate to one of his employees. Sat him down and said, hey, you probably shouldn't do this, you're on the board, you know,
Yeah,
be a leader.
yeah.
Got mad, went to the county attorney, she told him the same thing. Got a little worse with the board of supervisors with him, they removed him. In the meeting, he's like, I demand to know why you're removing him. I'm like, okay, this
There
is
you
why. And he turned around and filed a defamation case. Suing for millions of dollars.
Oh, Lord.
And that board's like, fine, we're not settling. We'll take this. And the ruling came in that it was tied to there's a New York Times case about who's a public official, who isn't a public official. And then what he had to prove was that, you know, the board member who stated the reasons for his removal, you know, that was untrue. That the board member knew it wasn't true, but said it anyway to get the guy in trouble. And we're like, it was true. I have our conversation tape recorded. You admitted it. And so, yeah, it went all the way. It was originally going to trial in November. COVID knocked it back to next week. And then I just heard on Monday that the judge reviewed it and just said, there's nothing here. Kicked the whole thing out.
Did it go to the Supreme Court?
No, it was just going to, district court in Northeast Iowa.
Wow. Guy must have been bored and nothing else to do, huh?
Yeah,
Sue for anything.
I mean, I was just scratching my head going, okay, so I was gonna be the first defense witness. You know, did you get this allegation from an employee? Yes. Did you ask him about it? Yes. Did he say he did it? Well, actually, he shared a whole bunch of new examples I didn't even know about.
Which judge, was the judge in that area that did it, or was it?
Yeah, they moved it. This was in Chickasaw County, but they had moved it, I think, to Howard. Kind of a change of venue. But kicked out.
No,
Yeah, you're right. You can sue for anything. That doesn't mean
And they
you
do, yeah.
Think to pay his attorney bill.
Weird. Yeah, by the way, it's just a lot of employees come to work drunk. Generally frowned upon, in some counties at least.
generally.
You were just I was just sweeping over to you, it was nothing. Nothing official.
It was a black eye.
Oh, you get a copy of that.
Exactly, yeah, slide that over. Squeeze it in her hand. Apparently the new gig isn't working out as well as you hoped. I think you're doing great, but some help, yeah. You should give yourself that.
When she becomes the assessor, she's got every right here.
Yeah.
We could use the old supervisor's room as a apartment. I never thought about that. but-
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, we gotta get them people archivers in there.
In the back in the vault.
Well, and then I think if you provide housing, then you have to tax her on it.
Yeah.
So I think there's
My dog to work.
all sorts of ways there.
Anything to put more money back in the coffers.
Exactly.
Oh, you guys are so
It is fun.
lucky, I'm easy going.
Don't worry, Sandy
Don't
got
worry
it
if
too.
you hear some. M80s or firecrackers want to by your house.
I did last night. You probably heard it a little better.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where it was coming from. Was it coming from the deputy sheriff's house? I was giggling the whole time.
My windows go.
It was pretty good one still.
My cat was looking at it like, what was that?
And Facebook was lighting up. I didn't know if it was Humiston's, because Humiston's is actually out in the country, so.
No, it was your way.
Yeah, that's all right. I didn't bother me. I went to bed and went to sleep.
It's just weird to hear that window.
Yeah, they had some good ones down there.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I wonder if they was confiscated once. I remember when I worked sheriff's office, that happened once in a while.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was one of them little guys that got theirs confiscated at the racetrack.
What was it?
Didn't like it. Whole bag full of bottle rockets. We just got them, shooting them off, and the deputy comes screaming up there in the car, yelling at us, and took our bottle rockets. I'll never forget that.
No. When Dave Holiday lived in Granby, this is back in probably early eighties. We went up there and about three of us, cause they had quite a few of them, said, is that all you got? And Dave and Carl Rudolph, all, they're good friends now, said, oh, that's all we got. And their kids go, no, Daddy, we got bags and that. Why don't you go? I remember later on, we was talking about that, and I said, that was you, wasn't it, quick? Yes, it was.
When our bag got confiscated, for a moment, I thought about sliding the punk in the bag and handing him the bag. I didn't, but the thought ran through my mind, because he threw that all in the trunk of that car. That would have been bad.
One time I had a black cat, I wish the cop would have confiscated, because I lit it and was gonna throw it in the gym at the Morgan Sun. And I hit the cop right in the stomach. I got good burn.
That's funny.
You guys using this as a confessional?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Just say-
The statute of limitations is long
Yeah.
gone on that one. About 40 years ago.
Yeah, I had.
What do you guys, you want to confess?
No, no. We would be here.
Did some stupid stuff, but I still have all 10 fingers, so.
I'm at nine.
9.5.
Well, we got a half hour till.
Yeah,
Kathy gets here. And then
Maybe to
45
call and see if.
Please.
Adam, yeah, we can get Adam out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
He can be a bit long-winded sometimes. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, Adam, if you're online.
Well, we got Grand Deal cleaned up.
The bricks are still there.
They've been hauling them away, you know.
I thought they were, but then I heard that they told him not to do that.
No,
Somebody reported him or,
no.
it's like, whatever. But it looks like. It looks like somebody took a skid steer tractor.
Pushed it back.
Got it back off the street, kind of on the sidewalk and stuff. They've decided to go ahead and have a parade the same route. Which they was trying to reroute it,
Yeah, I know it is.
and it's like, it is what it is. Everybody's gonna see it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a small town.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the south end this year.
Right, right. I think they were concerned about
No.
maybe somebody trying to walk in it or something. Like, really?
Yeah, you put yourself in that shoes, well, that would be difficult, but. No insurance.
The post office was insured. But. They got a bid of like $80,000 to clean up their portion of it.
It's that small, small.
Liver, yeah. They was working on the city's got a storage shed there. They just like putting a new roofing in a tarp on it, the other day. I heard that they was gonna have to tear it down, but they was putting a different roof on it.
Carport, it seems to be working okay, covered up. And pickup area.
Yeah, they took down that big dead tree.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they finally did that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that tree was completely dead.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Great, how about you?
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, are you even in the neighborhood? Okay, well. Do we need anything special from Adam? He forgot about today and he's camping.
No,
We're good.
nope, everything's good.
Enjoy your weekend.
You hear that? Enjoy your weekend. We'll pummel you next Tuesday.
That'd be great.
Yep. Is 160th, it's closed for the 4th. Because the other contractor didn't get done. Look at it, I thought well, we're 2.5 inches of rain, I figured it set them back. And the Cotter Bridge, what's,
5-10 minutes? If that doesn't, well, if that doesn't work, just let me know. Because Paul Baruch is here and I'm gonna call and have Kathy.
okay,
Okay, thank you.
oh,
Bye-bye.
all right, well, that's all we need, Adam, so.
Always will.
All right, see you, thanks for calling. Bye. Okay, he said that. The Carter Bridge, they poured the bridge railing and. He's hoping for next week to get it open.
Sounds.
And. Next week, the crew will come to pour the radiuses in the cement section of 160th Street. Due to rain. The rest of it didn't get opened up.
I seen it yesterday that, yeah, that's gonna be muddy for a while.
I do got a comment about it, if you want to hear it.
Yes.
Walked it. While it was, not working Sunday. I walked it. It ain't right.
Isn't it?
Are they gonna do anything to the north side of the ditch? They did the south side, they moved the road a little bit to the south.
You got a tilt to it, yes.
The north side ditch, they haven't done anything to. They've moved out basically all their machines. They're using a dozer to grade the rock. He talked about putting that cement dust down and tilling it in.
Mm-hmm.
They had a road grader there with lasers on it. I mean, it was nice the week before they did that. They tilled it up, they did that took like a day. And it was gone the second day. And then now they're hauling in rock to put on top. And they're just using a dozer back dragging it. And so the tracks are chewing up all of the cement dust. He talked about a sheet foot roller rolling it in and then having a steel roller compacting on top of that. I'm telling you, you can't level a road with a dozer, back dragger.
Back dragging.
It ain't gonna happen.
Back dragging's not usually a preferred method.
No,
Riggers.
besides the tracks, every one of the tracks chewing up the cement dust. Those sheet footed in. I thought they was doing a really good job until I seen,
I wonder if they're gonna bring some equipment back, but I seen that there was a dump truck, dozer, some kind of compactor set up on the highway, on the old highway part right there by where the old Hafner.
that's where I walk to every day.
Yeah. Did they pick all that up?
The only thing that's there is the steel roller, the smooth drum. The dozer. There's like a fuel truck. It's sitting there. And
Maybe they went to some of the job coming back, I don't know.
they had like 3 big excavators there for a while. I mean, all that stuff's gone.
Yeah, we'll see how, what's when they get back working on.
The north side
They won't be hauling any gravel for, huh? I bet you that's greasy.
I think they can. I mean, they had it gravelled all the way to G44X. It was some gravel.
On the, yeah, south side.
Uh. They kind of, they're side dump trucks, a lot of them are, Screamer's hauling, so he can spread.
Okay.
The side dump trucks, you know, they just dump. And then they take that dozer and you can see like Half Moon where he's kind of.
Turned into it.
Yeah, and made
Let's see what it turns out.
highly disappointed at this point.
Yeah, see what it does.
But
Yeah, I can only see it from the highway because you're above it. You can see up to the hill. And-
Yeah.
And then at the other side, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're driving by it quite a bit. We're starting to build houses down the road from there by the apple orchard. Start on that Thursday. So I'll be by it quite a bit.
yeah, when they took the road grader out, it's like.
Yeah,
You can't screw
I
that.
wonder if they just pulled up for some reason. They should be bringing it back. Because with that laser on there, it does everything for yourself. I mean, it's.
It was, they had it smooth.
Yeah.
They had it pretty nice. And then well, they was doing the tilling. I don't go up there when they're, I just go up there on weekends when they're not there.
I'm surprised the mudders haven't went down to it. Because they didn't really have too much blockage on it.
No,
But I haven't seen any mud marks.
no, not really. I didn't even see four-wheeler tracks going around the. road.
Yeah, sometimes they do with bricks, I guess it's right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Is Kathy gonna be able to come in, you say?
Yeah. Kathy's coming over and Adam.
Whoever gets her first.
You paid for that curve 3 times.
Yeah, we'd be getting right here sooner or later.
Yeah, this is the 3rd time.
And that's where we should have had that road ahead of the 61 project. And we wouldn't have to pay for it 3 times.
It was an afterthought.
We just gotta make sure when they start coming through, because they, July, they're, gonna be bidding. I'm not sure when the letting is, but it's sometime this month from, Minneapolis, right outside of Minneapolis to Newport. Past that, that's supposed to be coming up with grading. The bid lettings this month. Not for sure what day, but
Is the Highway 61 at Minneapolis north and south of town? Is there overpasses there? Gonna be there?
Kind of looks like it on the north side of town.
oh, the south side, no. And north side, no. What you see is what they got.
But it's so high. I mean,
They have to put it height for compaction, has to be there for like 6 months, the height of it, so they'll bring it down a little bit. But they have to pile the dirt so high and let it set for 6 months is how they do it anymore, instead of sheep's foot, and for they can get a base back into it and let the nature shrink it. So I think it comes down quite a bit. But you even notice that there, some of the farmers planted some of that right away area
yeah,
too. And, but yeah, they'll bring that down. Usually try to let it go 6 months for compaction.
well, I knew they weren't building any bridges, you know, because they're on the west side of town, they are.
Yeah,
But it was, well, they sure, would have surely started pouring embankments, you know, if they were gonna put it.
No, there's just gonna be, they're gonna bring it down, what I heard in our 61 coalition, meeting, they're gonna bring a lane up. Around that, and then they'll hook that into. And they'll have it go around, then they'll do the southbound lane. And then they'll put double traffic on that to take it around once they get the bridge in. But the paving project's not gonna be released until 2025. Last I heard. So that 2025 project won't be till July of next year, be released. And then they'll pay that, and then hopefully we can get, they're kind of behind with that. Yeah. But this month they're supposed to let the terracing and groundwork. I think there's a couple of culverts up there by Big Phil's, right over by your brother's place.
Oh, those draws, yeah.
Yeah, there's some big, it's closer than it would originally was set up to be to the highway. It cut some costs, because they got all the land bought, you got the right of ways more.
Yeah, I see the sign out there.
Yeah. Yeah, we just, we had a presentation coming up this month. And we just did a drone footage of all the right of way area and showing them.
So does the house at the bottom of that, you know, where you, south of Newport, where you go down and curves and cross that little bridge? Does that house get taken out? The one on the left,
It's behind it.
behind it?
It's close, but I don't think so. Do you think it would be taking it now? Because the right of way is purchased.
Right.
Whether off or close to a couple of extended. Up in that new house.
Oh, up on that straight,
Yeah. A lot closer than I thought it was gonna be.
you know, Dead Man's Curve, is it on the east?
It'll be west
West
the
of
new
it.
road.
West of it.
When you go north out of Minneapolis, you come to that curve, you'll continue going north.
Yeah, that'd be east,
I guess.
behind that house.
I guess I'm saying the old road. The road we use now will be west of the new.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see the right of way signs from the highway. I mean, that's, I figured it would be out another football field. It's close. Well, Mike's right there, no,
Ernie Pax or,
down low further, right behind your brothers.
oh, Billings's.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right there along the road there. Right behind them.
Gets right behind
Mhm.
that one brick house, so
Close. You can probably count the lug nuts on trucks.
well. Ernie Peck's house. The right of way sign is almost in his leach field.
Yeah,
That's how close it is to that house.
and they didn't buy that one.
No, they should have. Same with Jensen's house down south of,
You wanna jump around in this?
well. Have we got more
Looks like that's everybody.
people coming for our number 10 with Paul and Adam and Kathy Smith? Or is any of the girls coming from your office? Okay. Well, let's. We'll fire up with that one, I guess.
So Kathy just agreed to extend her separation date.
Good.
Years.
It's so fun.
Had our initial right here. So reached out to, I mean, the process is unique to county government. So the examining board is a group that looks to essentially select who they would recommend to the full conference board to be the new assessor. They're limited to only being able to select somebody who's on a register. So it's through the Department of Revenue that has a list, and we can only choose from the folks in that list. Over the years, the education requirements have changed, so it's different than it had been, let's say, 10 years ago. So it can be more difficult. I have done recruiting for assessors across the state, and it's, in the most recent recruitments, we're not getting a ton of people that are applying that are on that registry. So I talked to the examining board, they gave me a green light to move forward with that recruitment, which we've done. Additionally, every county I've worked with that's had an opening recently, due to the law change allowing the sharing of assessors, have asked me to do that as well. So I did reach out to neighboring counties to gauge just a general interest of, hey, is this something you would even be interested in and looking into? As of today's date, we have had 14 people apply for the position, none of which are on the registry. So at this point, there's nothing the examining board can do. They can only look at that group. The law has all sorts of dates and times in there as far as when our esteemed auditor becomes the assessor. But I mean, all that's in place. I've worked with the Department of Revenue a number of times this year. So 14 people applied, none of them are on the registry. With the neighboring counties, I've had 2 counties that have interest that are saying, yeah, we're open to it. Both counties are saying there's no guarantee, there's no promises. I've spoken to the assessors in those counties. And so I don't know, what information they've shared with their conference board or anything, but that's just that initial conversation. If acceptable to the Board of Supervisors, the conference board, everybody else involved, one of those assessors would like to stop by the office next week. That individual is on vacation, but so next week would be the earliest they could get out there. And really just to assess the office, which is a good starting point to say, hey, what are we, what are we doing well? What kind of things, how are we looking with staffing, et cetera, but to just kind of give an overall interest in that process. So the recruiting will remain open. We'll keep it open to see if anybody individually applies. Otherwise, that would be the next step, is if there's interest from this assessor and their conference board, that's when we start getting into the details of, what do you need for staffing? I mean, those are some of the pros, is depending on the staff in both counties, you can actually be a stronger entity. If a different county has more strength in a certain area, that's where you can see some overall improvements. But we just, at this point, wait and see. And my understanding as far as, if Kathy changes her mind and decides not to extend her separation date like she promised me a few minutes ago, then, I mean, really what happens on July 10th is the auditor's in charge, right? Nothing different changes. And then we move forward until we can get either somebody from the registry that applies that the examining board can review, or whether or not we can get some sort of better understanding of opportunities for sharing.
If we picked someone out of these 14 apps, how long would it take them to get through the tests and the cycle to be?
I think it
Eligible.
depends.
Some of the tests aren't offered that often, I mean,
But I've,
yeah,
And I think it depend partially on what education they have.
what education they have,
Right.
what experience they have, if they have any appraisal experience.
So as an example, Pocahontas County assessor resigned. They had gone through that process. Nobody on the registry applied. That county looked at sharing. There was an individual that was interested, but her conference board in the end said, no, I think we're good as we are. In that county, there was a real estate deputy in the auditor's office. So she had some experience. I think she had a 4-year degree already and some experience in real estate. And within 60 days, I think was able to study for a test, sit for the test, and at least be tentatively added to the registry. And then was appointed assessor. And that's how it worked for them. So it depends, but it can be done. I mean, in that case, I thought that was relatively quick. Now, as an employee of the county, it was, you gotta take this test and, you know, on your own dime and pay for it. There wouldn't be anything that would stop us from saying, hey, we're interested. You know, but the dilemma is the examining board can't make a recommendation to the conference board unless they're on the registry prior. So, you know, there could be some conversations to say, hey, you look great, but we gotta get you on the registry before we can even consider you. So,
Okay, 7th is the day you resign, right? So that's this week, and they're not coming down to after the 10th. So what legal, do we have after the 7th? So we have no choice, but the auditor will be in charge of that office by state requirements, correct? That we have to have, okay?
unless there's a deputy in there with that's on the registry.
And we don't have that, so. So if that goes in effect, they come down here next week. What, okay, I need to kind of think, what changes needs to be made? Do we need to notify anybody in the state, or is that automatically taken care of, how that goes?
The timing comes in is once there's a vacancy, I think we have 7 days within the vacancy to request the registry list, the examining board.
And they've already requested that. We
Okay,
already have that.
okay. So that then the timing kicks in is once that's requested, then you have 10 days. But essentially, and again, I know this because I've spoken recently to that Department of Revenue, is if you blow past those, it's just the auditor. Right? So if you miss those deadlines, so it sounds like they've already requested the registry, and that starts the clock from ticking, Then you have, I think, 10 days. Then they have to make a recommendation to the conference board. The conference board has to meet within 7 days. So it sounds like we may already be beyond that.
So why would the clock be ticking till the 10th? It should really start ticking on the 10th, wouldn't it?
We tried to have it filled before I left. So the examining board met. We requested the list. Sent it out to everyone on the list, no one applied.
Okay, but if we have 10 days, that should start on the 10th, correct? Am I right on that?
I don't know where the 10 days is coming from.
That's where I'm trying to figure out, how did we start earlier when we don't have a vacancy yet?
Because you had signed that you had accepted my resignation
Right,
prior.
but it don't start till the 7th. I'm just trying to make sense out of this, they give us time, because if we already started, where's the time
It
start?
matters.
So the code says that the time periods start when a vacancy occurs.
Which would be,
The county examining board must request a list of the individuals eligible for appointment from the director of the Iowa Department of Revenue within 7 days of the vacancy. The county examining board must forward the list to the county conference board within 15 days of receiving it from the director. I don't know if that's happened. It
Yeah.
says, okay,
We did that at our conference board meeting in
okay.
In May.
May 31st.
So then the chair of the conference board must call a meeting of the conference board within 7 days to appoint an assessor from that 15 book days.
that's what, that date I'm trying to come up with.
Yeah, and I think, I think as I'm reading it, that the clock starts to tick when you request a list. And it says you can request a list within 7 days of a vacancy. So to me, the vacancy is gonna occur, is it on the 10th or the 7th, but it's gotta be requested within 7 days of that date.
That's what I'm thinking.
So if the examining board requested it in May, I would say that's great for recruiting, but I don't know that that matches. I think we can still restart the clock.
That's what I was asking, what actually time, because I want to make sure that we stay in the state's guidelines and require the. Do all the steps,
Right,
and if that step starts on Friday, then we're still okay.
right.
Because it says when the vacancy occurs, correct? Is that way you?
Yeah.
Within 7 days of the vacancy occurring.
So no matter what we did before, it really don't start until.
Right.
7th or the 10th, whatever.
Yeah, I would assume not, based on of language of the code. I wouldn't think the Department of Revenue would count the previous request as a request that triggers all this stuff.
So the chair of the chair of the conference board, which is Chris, then would make this formal request probably now.
Would be the examining board.
The examining board.
And when I reached out to the examining board, I'll go back to my emails, but my recollection was that I would, if that was okay, I would take that lead, and that would be my time frame. Would
That's what we
be
want to do.
the 7th would be the vacancy that I would look to formally request it on behalf of the examining board. I'd send it late in the day on the 14th, more than likely get it from them on the 17th or the 18th. And that's when the clock starts moving. Is if that's acceptable, and I
I
can
would
follow
feel
that.
that would be great to have you do it, make sure we
Okay.
stay in the
Well,
letter.
you dealt with it probably 6 times more than I ever will.
Because it is a common problem, so.
Yeah.
It is.
He's dealt with it.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep, they have great resources up there. He's very nice to work with. So that's what I'll do. And then I'll follow up again with, if I include. Just my information then to the examining board and the board of supervisors.
Yeah.
And should I include the rest of the conference board?
I would,
Okay,
because we said at that meeting, we was gonna keep everybody informed.
Try to keep everybody in the loop.
all right, so I'll follow up with an email to everybody to say, hey, this is where we're at. The vacancy, and just kind of outline, vacancy occurs on the 7th. I'll request a list on behalf of the vacancy board on the 14th. And then that process will move forward. And if those, right, so the clock starts ticking, we can only appoint somebody who's on the registry.
Correct.
If nobody does it within that time frame, it just defaults to nothing bad happens. As long as I would keep the Department of Revenue up to date, so they know what was going on. Right.
Well,
And-
the examining board can request a testing of the Department of Revenue too. That'd be where the 14 candidates come in.
Okay. Okay, as far as on the 10th or the 7th, we need to let the employees know what's going on also too, so they know who to report to, and that would be Selena, right?
Correct.
So we just need to lay that out, everybody's in the loop.
Good.
Is there anything else that we need to do? Adam, you, Paul, is there anything that we need to do as far as stair steps to get?
I mean, down the road, but not at this point.
Okay. I just want to make sure that employees know where they go starting Monday. Everybody's well communicated to. You guys think of anything?
Does the employees have any questions you feel or?
I don't think so. Yeah, they're aware that they'll be reporting to Celine.
Okay,
Okay. So we can
Do you
still
have
keep,
the minutes from the examining board and the conference board?
Be you.
Because yeah, the conference board decided, they wanted to look into the sharing in the interim until someone could be found.
Perfect.
How long were you assessor? I can't
6.5 years.
remember how long it had.
I thought when you took the oath of that office, you had to stay there 10 years.
Yeah,
I thought there was some sort of contract about a 6-year term.
there are 6-year terms.
I noticed any milk biscuits and smell fees, which are not.
so I have.
That's why it's time for me to leave.
It's coming up. I guess it's gonna be a rough month for you.
I don't have any other questions. I just had a couple that make sure everybody's.
And I'll also reach out to the employee. That's a great question too, to say is I'll reach out to these two to say, hey, how do you want to do this? I'm open for any calls, but just so employees understand what's going on. More information, the better. I think the more transparent we are is great. That's
Yes.
what we're trying to do is continue the great work that Kathy's done and the best way we can and not hold grudges because she's a quitter.
The 2 counties,
January 22.
the 2 counties, Muscatine and Des Moines.
Yes.
And if when they come to the office, if you want me to come in, I can try to do that,
You do it?
depending on what day it is,
Yeah, like-
because I'm taking.
We can have you time of day.
Babysitting.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's all I had.
I guess when you reach out to the employees, if there'd be E and M more willing to test out and work it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I,
Put the offer. on
every
the
employee I think I've asked, and none of them want to.
We asked that night of the meeting, so.
Yeah, because even past employees have been asked and no one had any interest. So
Okay.
there was just one with interest and.
that's my age-old analogy is as an HR guy, I make somebody mad one at a time. Assessors make whole rooms full of people mad at a time.
We're whole county.
And we were. Getting out of this year.
Anybody got anything else? So.
And I'll forward the email I sent to Selena and Katie about, like, with the time deadlines, the phone number to you guys, so you have it for reference.
Okay. Nope. Thank you, everybody. Thank you too, also too, so. I don't have anything else. I knew the deadline was coming down a week. I just wanted to make sure what direction we had and people knew where we was going and what we're looking at. All right, it's a big deal.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Good for
Thanks, Kathy. Enjoy your retirement.
I intend to.
Even though we're picking on you, enjoy it.
Not the way I intended to go out, but it is what it is.
Stuff happens. Now we are ready for Kathy. She's ready for us.
So that, yeah, it's the same old minutia with the grant, so the grant that we got to put the Fairview Church on historical register. Remember, you approved the grant and then you have to approve the consultant and then you approve the bills and then you approve that the consultant's gonna take the stuff to the state. And now I've done everything and I have to get approval to request the reimbursement of the grant money that we spent. That's it. Selena and I've dealt with all of it. Our consultant's been paid. I've expended all the funds. She's made the presentation and I think we're probably gonna. Well, the state was very happy. Did any of you log on to that? That was 2 weeks ago Friday.
No.
Our consultant made the presentation to the state office, right? The State Historical Preservation Office, SHPO it's called. They loved it. They approved it. It moves on to the National Park Service. So that whole grant is done. You have to sign that I can send my receipts to the state to reimburse the grant monies that I already spent. And somebody has to sign this. And what you're signing is that the work has been fully completed, which. I mean, if you didn't log on to the thing, you just have to. I sent you the stuff.
Right.
I sent you,
I didn't
yeah.
see that.
So. I suppose there needs to be a vote of approval and then someone signs. We vote to approve for the Historical Preservation Commission to build the state for the grant that we've already spent. And then you sign it.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, you got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh, I got-
So, Selena, do you
even
want me to
sign
take
it.
it and scan it to you, or do you gonna send it to me?
You need the original, don't you?
No, I scan it to, they're
Okay.
all uploaded into
I'll
slide.
make you a copy right
Yeah, perfect.
now.
Okay. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll be back for the next time that, the second grant, the one from Mellinger, same process for
There we go. Well.
How many times does this happen in the state? And is it more common on the assessor?
Oh, I don't know. I don't keep track, pay attention to how many.
Because with. I
You
can
mean
see-
getting employees?
No,
I was gonna say,
registry.
that's
bill.
gonna happen more and more. and more.
They're getting yourself into a corner, and I'm gonna ask them, and I'll talk to the senator off. They're getting yourself in the corner. If they go by the registry, I understand. Somehow they have to be.
I'll get later.
For the 99 counties in the state, there has to be a pool. Some kind of more people on the registry. Somehow they gotta get this ahead of this, because I see this is getting worse.
Yeah, it's creating a situation where the only people who can do the job right away are people who are already doing the job.
Yeah, and that list is really small.
Well, in our area, everybody on the list was retired.
Right,
Greg?
there is a provision that if the examining board looks, nobody applies, it's on the list, they can just request the testing. That doesn't specify, presumably you can request the testing after some or all of the applicants have attempted to complete the course. So, I mean, that's an option too. It's sort of like hiring a deputy. You can hire a certified deputy right away, sheriff, I mean, or, you can send them to the academy, but then your applicants have to go to the academy.
And they got a 6-month window. Somebody's non-certified. And see, to me, that's what they need to look at the provisions as assessor, that we could hire somebody to get.
Yeah.
I just say
Yeah,
I need
but
to
that's
polish
what they-
this a little
But a
bit.
deputy, they can start working and they have.
Correct.
Yeah.
Without
That case, a
certification.
year since they knew they may have lowered it to 6 months.
Yeah, it could be a year,
But it's, yeah, an assessor, they can't start working until they're.
See, and that's where, to me, that's where you gotta open that up a little bit. With oversight.
or also the test more to. I mean, there's appraisers in the insurance industry that could probably step. I assume could step
Would be
into this
easier.
job.
Right.
But
Well,
with the,
I mean, the exception to that would be like a staff person that's working there now could continue to work in their job while they're taking a test. That they wouldn't have the authority of the assessor, the auditor would, but they could continue to work.
isn't that weird, the auditor can take over without being on the board
Yes,
approval. But you can't hire somebody the same way as a deputy, pre-certification, give yourself a time. And I think that's what the state needs to look at, because I can just see this getting much more.
it's a very strange, very unique process in the code. And county government's got a lot of strange processes. That the ones surrounding the assessor's office are even stranger.
And then with the employment factor involved in this, where it's even becoming strange out there, this is gonna be even a harder situation.
Yeah,
As it develops.
in this labor market.
Yeah, it's like a county attorney, basically the same thing. You're putting expertise. It's gonna get harder and harder and
Right,
harder.
yeah, at least with us, there's, private attorneys that are capable of stepping into the job.
Capable.
But
But do they want?
No.
Nonsense.
not necessarily market in rural areas of the state, but.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'll ask that question today.
Contacting colleges of people that are. Graduating.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure, if you could find someone
There's
that's.
not really a major that fits, I thought of that too, yeah, appraisers maybe the closest thing,
Mhm.
but that's not really, there's no college major for appraisal.
So that's something. You just kind of learn on the job.
Yeah, or maybe like a certificate program in a community college.
The question is why not? Because the pay is pretty
Yeah.
Pretty
It's
good.
Yeah, that's a nice
pay
job.
throughout the whole state. I mean, if you look at the 99 counties, the probably averages probably around 90-some thousand, so.
Yeah, you think more people would be interested?
I would think more colleges would,
Mhm.
since I see that, because it's just not United in Iowa, it's the whole United States. So, thank you. I just had a question on that. I just want to make sure that we stay, because it is a really precise role for each county, and you have to have the state certifications, but we don't have much leeway. I just want to make sure we stay in too.
Right, yeah, well, it'd be nice for there to be a way for there to be more qualified or quickly qualified applicants.
Deeper pool.
Yep, I agree. I'm gonna send that email out to the three of you and, oops, I've got the wrong Paul on here, but I'll send it to Paul. And then, Kathy, I don't think I sent it to her, but her and I have been communicating. So then, is there anybody else you think that would need to be on that, or? That's all I want to do.
Besides Selena.
I think.
She has it, that's.
Yeah, okay. I want to make sure she's on.
Her and Katie.
And also too, on Friday, we need to.
Well, Paul will pass it on out to the.
Would you take care of that, Jules? And the closure of that office area, and then we'll have to IT on passwords. Since there's not somebody in that role.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of
John.
John to come
Yeah,
down.
and just do the normal, I don't know if our conference board needs to do.
Well, Paul will. Whatever's going through Paul will go through into the rest of the conference board, so.
I mean, we gotta make sure we always keep the mayors and the school boards.
Yeah. But we just have to do the terminals and the outside contacts and Paul take care of the rest of it, you think?
Should. He should.
Maybe I'll just follow up a call just to make sure that we have that, but we'll do the password thing and everything. Just like we do on any other employees, but there's just not somebody in that office in charge, so I'm just. Talking out loud.
Well, that's why we had this meeting, because who knows. Okay. What the day-to-day, who's gonna appraise all the new construction come September?
Well, I think we do use outside
So we're
sources.
gonna have to, and I hope. The girls there know.
Everybody that's came in and done anything I have, it's always been the girls and somebody outside. that want to do it. So
Because of your.
we just gotta find out them contacts and make sure everybody in the offices has it. And make sure it's a smooth transition. It's the only thing I want to see for the county, but.
Well,
Thank you.
happy birthday, Adam.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Okay, with that, I think we could,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Have a good fourth.
You too.
Yeah.
Stay away from fireworks.
I will.
Okay.